Recent updates. Tampa, Florida. Robert DuBoise was imprisoned in Florida for 37 years for a 1983 rape and murder he did not commit. He is now expected to get $14 million from the city of Tampa in compensation for all those lost years. Initially, DuBoise, who was 18 years old at the time of the crime, received a death sentence in connection with the murder of Barbara Grams, who was 19 years old. Although his sentence was subsequently commuted to life in prison, it was not until 2018 that prosecutors consented to reconsider the case with the assistance of the Innocence Project. DNA testing, which was not accessible in the early 1980s, implicated 2 other individuals in the crime, prompting DuBoise' release from jail in 2020. DuBoise subsequently filed a lawsuit against the city of Tampa, the investigating police officers, and the forensic dentist who testified that his teeth matched a bite imprint allegedly found on the victim. The Tampa City Council voted unanimously on Thursday to ratify the settlement and formally award the $14 million to DuBoise, now 59, despite the lawsuit being resolved on January 11th. "I'm just glad that it's all over with and I don't have to worry about court cases for the rest of my life," he said to local news outlets. "I already spent 40 years of my life dealing with it." Council members stated that the money was the least the city could do for him. "This was an egregious mistake," stated Luis Vieira, a council member. "I pray and hope that this settlement will allow him to feel some relief." DuBoise, who was absent from the meeting on Thursday, was represented in the case by the civil rights law firm Loewe and Loewe, headquartered in Chicago. The firm has experience managing a multitude of wrongful conviction cases nationwide. The law firm said in a statement, "The settlement is not only an acknowledgement of the harm that Mr. DuBoise suffered, but also an opportunity for him to move on with his life." Chief of Police of Tampa Lee Burkor stated in his own statement that technological advancements and improved training for detectives have significantly transformed the way in which such investigations are conducted in the years since the DuBoise case. "Nearly 4 decades later, we acknowledge the profound and enduring consequences of this case, particularly on Mr. DuBoise," stated Burkor. According to city documents, DuBoise and his law firm will receive $9 million this year, $3 million next year, and $2 million in 2026. Barbara Grams was sexually attacked and beaten to death while walking home from work at a Tampa restaurant in August 1983. A medical examiner said that a wound on her cheek was caused by a bite. This led investigators to get bite samples from several men, including DuBoise. Notably, the wound impression was created using beeswax. The forensic dentist concluded that DuBoise was responsible for the bite, despite not knowing Grams but having frequented the area where her remains were discovered. According to the city council decision about the settlement, the dentist said in court documents related to DuBoise' case that he no longer thinks bite marks can be directly linked to a specific person. Decades later, DNA testing identified Amos Robinson and Abron Scott, both of whom are serving life sentences for a different killing. Both are currently detained on accusations of first-degree murder in connection with the Grams case. The testimony of a jail informant who claimed DuBoise admitted to killing Grams was eventually discredited. The city denied in the settlement that any of its police officers were guilty of intentional wrongdoing, as DuBoise claimed in the lawsuit. In August 2020, DuBoise walked free from a Florida prison. "I hoped for it and prayed to God daily," DuBoise said shortly after his release. After a month, the case was finally dropped at a court hearing where DuBoise said he doesn't trust the justice system because "I've had a lot of roadblocks thrown in my path." He now says he believes justice has been served. DuBoise said, "There are really good people in these offices now. It's been fantastic. I'm simply grateful to all of you." If you enjoy this video, follow us and subscribe.